Hey, everything's started. Let's go.
Alright, cool. Well, welcome to the whatever episode this is. This is 15?
Yeah,
Wow.
something like that.
Yeah, it's moving along. Well, where we left off last game, you guys have uncovered about 400 separate individual quests that you can follow. And you guys noticed Irina leaving with a well-dressed fellow. I'm not sure if you revealed who that was or not, or just figured it out. I can't recall whether that was actually discovered, so I won't say too much more. But you guys are in the point where you know that the coffin maker is of interest. You know the orphanage is of interest. You know that you have a job for the hags, and you have routes that reach out to Amber Temple and a number of other things. So take it away, where you want to go and what you want to do. Whoever wants to leave.
When did Irina leave? At what point? Did she leave?
Happened to look just now. You guys were leaving the
cathedral.
Yes.
She left from the cathedral?
Yes.
Oh.
You guys had gone underneath the church.
Right.
And were talking about bones and whatnot.
Nothing about that said that he was a child.
Was using a child. That's true. That's true. We got played on that one. I'm with you there.
Thank you.
He did abuse the child.
Well, I was set up.
I don't understand who's the child.
She was told that it was a child.
The kid, Yeska. I smacked him around a bit and got in trouble.
Well, you're just an abusive type. I can't really jam my way out of that. Wherever I put you, you're going to probably hit some children.
So are we outside of the cathedral now?
Yeah, you may be if you'd like to. You guys noticed them leaving, and that is literally where we left off at. So you can rush out if you so desire to catch them.
Yeah, I agree. Let's figure out at least who she's with, what she's doing, because I feel some sort of responsibility for her.
Arrows are not working particularly well. Yeah, it won't stay. Oh, you know what? I realized what's going on. It's in the wrong frame. All right, so that puts you guys somewhere around there, if you can see that. You rush out. Go ahead and give me a. See who's leading the party. Imagine you, Diedrich, at the moment.
Yeah, I pretty much have kind of taken that responsibility on myself, it seems.
Yep, I think so too. All right, so you rush forward because you'd seen his smile at a bit of a distance as the man had looked back a bit. And as you get closer, they are not hurrying, but they were quickly turning around the side of the church, the cathedral. But you caught them and draw their attention to you. And the man turns, says, "No, hold on," and you recognize immediately it's Vasily, the guy who
the weapon guy.
Yes, that's another one of the quests that's out there for you. But he says, "Well, what's up, my friend? What's the problem? I
should have that somewhere.
I'm just having a good time with Irene."
What are your intentions?
Well, I must admit, she is a most beautiful flower. I just wanted to take and give her a chance to walk and breathe and, remove her from the fear that she's been surrounded with while journeying with you fine gentlemen.
Irina, you are okay. You are comfortable. You feel safe. I just want to make sure, because, we have been looking after you for several days now.
Perception check.
Insight? Or perception?
No, well, okay, I'll give you an insight option.
Well, actually, technically I've got a better roll for perception, but I just want to make sure I'm doing the right thing.
Now, perception is what I was going to go
for,
so go with that.
Hey, yo.
you recognize with a great speed and clarity that her cheeks are flushed, and even her is it the irises, the darkness of the dark of her eyes are a little bit whiter.
Pupils.
Pupils, thank you. Couldn't come up with that word for the life of me. Okayest GM. Anyway, and she says, I'm fine. He seems, just very enchanting. He's a lovely fellow.
I really don't like this guy.
Is this the guy that gave me the snacks?
No.
Never mind then.
Seems like he has her ensorcelled.
Yeah.
Can I do some kind of? I'd like to do some.
You're cutting out there.
That was pretty
Sorry,
rough.
I've got a lot of
he wants to
latency.
do Arcana.
Yeah, sorry, I don't know what the deal is with my connection. I tried to reset it right before the game. It didn't seem to help.
All right, go ahead and roll.
Well, that's
Yeah, you rolled twice. Is there a reason for you rolling twice, or just an accident?
no. It actually looked like it weirdly seemed to roll. Maybe I accidentally double-clicked it or something, and it rolled because it rolled before I dragged the thing over there. But anyway, it doesn't matter. You can go with the first.
Okay. All right. Yeah. See, you know what? I'm gonna have a roll on his counterpart. Hold on. Yeah. So, you attempt to discern magical auras and whatnot, and find a little bit of feedback. It feels like you're pushing uphill or walking through thick fog. You're unable to divine anything. So he begins to encourage her. Come on, let's go. And he starts walking, sort of the back of the buildings type of path, rather than on the main road.
I am going
I'm
to.
not comfortable with this.
I'm going to cast Maximilian's Earthen Grasp.
Earthen Grasp, huh? You want to read that one to me?
Yeah. So, a medium hand made from. So I choose a 5-foot square unoccupied space on the ground that I can see, within 30 feet. Medium hand made from compacted soil raises there and reaches for one creature you can see within 5. The target has to make a strength saving throw. On a failed save, he takes 2d6 damage and is restrained for the spell's duration. In an action, I can cause the hand to crush him, take the damage again. If he has a save, once he's already restrained, if he saves, he still takes half damage. To break out, he can use an action to make a strength check on the spell save DC.
What's the spell save DC for yours? It should show it when you expand it.
25.
Where? Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, sorry. 13.
For what stat?
Strength.
Okay. Alright. Let's see. Alright, so he makes the save. So he still takes some damage from that, though? Is that correct?
I don't think he does.
Okay.
No. But, like, in another turn, I can just get it to do that again. Like, the spell doesn't go... It's a concentration spell, and so every action I have, I can try to get it to grab him again.
Okay, fair enough. So the Earth rises up and attempts to grab him, and he's an older-looking gentleman, but he's surprisingly spry, and his cane, he shoves down at the ground and breaks the fingers of Earth that are trying to grab him before it even successfully takes hold. And he looks at you, and there is just a momentary lapse in the peaceful nature as he demands to know what it is you intend to be doing, and who do you think you are?
I'm just trying to protect the lady. You keep trying to run off with her, and you won't stop and talk to us.
Have I done anything to offend you, Irina? Have I treated you inappropriately? No, no, not at all. It's fine, guys. It's fine.
She is not acting
Can,
normal. She seems like she might be enchanted, but we can't
yeah,
tell.
can I do an insight check on her?
Sure. You feel like her will is weak, but you can't tell that you don't think necessarily she's actually directly ensorcelled. She is acting highly attracted.
Alright. Alright, guys. Well, Vasily, I will give you this one warning. Anything happens, anything at all, that I hear about it, I will come after you. You will not like what happens.
He pauses and takes a moment to assess you, and then reaches into his inner coat pocket and here. No, I'm just kidding. He pulls out a card. He's got a gun, everyone. No, he pulls out a card and he says, "Here is my address. You may visit me there. In fact, I invite you. Irina, all of you, join me for dinner." And he's proffering it
is
to
it
you
dinner
right
time now?
No.
Could we make it dinner time now?
What time is it?
I got the nibbles.
I imagine you probably do. No, I believe we had said it was around noon or so when this was
lunchtime.
going down, right? So you're gonna try to encourage him to take you to lunch instead, yes?
Yes. I would like lunch.
Okay.
Now.
Alright.
All right, persuasion check.
I would like my stomach to do the talking as it rumbles. Vasily.
Right.
Tango. Hombre.
He pauses and he's hesitant. He clearly is not particularly in the mood for it right then, but he says, all right, fine. Yes. All right, let's go. Let's go for lunch. I don't have a meal prepared, however. We must go to the inn. And of course he's
I would prefer to see your perhaps some of your wares that we spoke about earlier. Is it possible to go to your home? We don't need anything super fancy as it is.
I'd like to disagree with my comrade and request fancy.
Okay.
Goodness sakes.
Okay. He's a little bit confused as he looks between the two of you and says, I think you've probably had enough, Gimbleforth. Looking at what's on you. He sniffs.
Oh, is my fly down again?
He sniffs and says, right, fine. We go to my house. It is acceptable. And he begins heading back toward the road and waves you on. Feel free to follow.
All right. Diedrich follows pretty close behind.
Okay. So as you do so, it takes a number of minutes. There's a fair amount of time for your walking because you're going to be walking way over to here. So several minutes to go. If there's anything you want to ask or pursue whilst traveling, just let me know. Otherwise,
Just talk to him about his weapons business. Kind of see what he says he has to offer, how he got into the business, so stuff like that.
all right. He keeps the details very light. What were you going to ask, Val?
I was so I want to go ahead and explain to him and to Irina that the church is no longer safe. It does not have the protection that it used to have.
That's a good call.
I doubt this is true. I mean, who's to say these bones, they actually provide protection, you know? Who's to say? It's not likely that the rumors are all that there is to this. I wouldn't worry about it. It's as safe as it can be. As he describes the general effects of his business, things like that, he wants to know if you guys don't mind if he stops for a moment. He just wants to get something from the coffin maker. His name is Henrik. He says, Henrik owes me some
Well,
money.
that works out. We have some business with Henrik as well, so I will.
It seems like
I will join you.
I'm gonna telepathically communicate to the others that it seems like he's trying to warn the coffin maker, because right after we explained what we knew about the chapel, now he's going to the coffin maker. I don't think it's a good idea to let him talk to the coffin maker.
He steps closer, and he lifts his hand as to knock.
So no, I don't think we'll be talking to the coffin maker.
He pauses.
I shall
Looks over his
intimidate him.
shoulder.
No, we're gonna go to his house and have lunch.
All right, roll to intimidate.
Let's see. Oh my goodness! How do I always roll low when I have advantage?
It's pretty amazing. Yeah, he looks at you. This is a man who has commands a lot of respect in town. Perhaps even has used his money to get his way enough times that he is not easily intimidated. And he stops and says, "Listen, I don't need to deal with this silliness. I just wanted to walk with a beautiful lady. She is one of the only ones like this godforsaken land. And you have imposed yourself upon me, and I have been most kind. But I am growing very weary, very weary."
Then let us consider this as a business lunch, because there could be some business in store for you.
So you mean we get to expense this lunch?
Perhaps.
Perfect.
All right, so he says, "Fine, I'll skip this for now. Let's go to my house." And as he leads you past the coffin makers and stop, he did not, in fact, unlock or knock on the door or whatever. There is a very well-kept house, roughly here. Well, not roughly. It's actually quite exactly there. There we go. It has bars on the windows. The door itself is very nice and thick, maybe oak. Highly ornate. The lawn, if you want to call it that, is actually mostly just dirt and stone. There's not really much by way of grass or anything. And it has a distinct lack of female warmth to it, in both its colors and just its general appearance. So he puts his hand forward as though offering you to go forward as he points toward the door. Help yourself.
Gimbleforth.
You don't have to ask me twice.
What was it?
It's his house.
We're going into Vasili's house.
Oh, I thought he was giving us something.
No, he's having him go ahead. Gimbleforth, give me a dex check, please.
Boom.
You stumble up the steps and you grab the handle on the door, attempting to open it, and it feels locked, and you sort of stumble against it. And Vasily says, "Yes, I thought you'd have too much already." And then he just waves his hand, and you hear as the door locks open, and it goes and opens in front of you. Gimbleforth, with you up front, you notice that it's very dusty.
So I would like telepathically communicate to everybody that I think it would be a good idea for Medic and I to go investigate the coffin maker while this guy who seems like he might be associated in some way is
Oh,
distracted.
clever.
Medic
So I'm good.
telepathically offers to slay you because he figures that's the least inconspicuous way to go.
Well, so I was thinking I would just say that I feel sick and that I need Medic to accompany me back to the inn. But that's a good idea. We'll back burner that idea.
Yeah.
We'll go with my intimidation.
I love that idea. All right, give me a deception check if that's where you're going with this.
Both of us are
Okay.
Just him, because he's the one who's making up the excuse right now.
Nice.
Very well done. Vasily stops and turns and says, I am sorry you walked all this way for nothing. Yes, go take care of yourself. Do what you must. And he then starts leading Irene to the door, and Gimblefort's already ahead, if I'm not mistaken. And so is Diedrich, or Diedrich's there.
No, I'll bring up
Guys.
the rear.
Yes,
I'd
you
like to ask
would.
him, does he live here much, or does he travel a lot?
Well, I live here occasionally. I mean, admittedly, it's one of several homes.
Business must be good.
But not good enough
Yes.
to afford a maid, apparently.
Why waste the money? The truly rich understand how to spend the money that is not wasteful. This is what you must understand if you ever are to be rich. Go ahead. So they go ahead and walk in, and like I said, there's dust everywhere. I don't have a map of this particular room, but we're going to begin back and forth. So you guys know where the coffin maker is. I marked it out before. So you guys begin your journey. There'll be a few minutes as you get to that location.
I scan him to see if he's actually sick, because his deception.
That's a good point.
Yeah, and you are able to determine with that he seems to be in good health. Although he's still humanoid, much to your dismay.
Exactly.
All right, so the rest of you guys, you're in his house now, and he motions you to sit at a table. Says, I will put tea on. Any other thing else you would like to drink, let me know.
Nothing for me,
Very
please.
soft.
Thank you.
So Irina settles down. Go ahead.
Nope, I was just gonna be snarky.
Irina settles down, and you hear him moving around inside the kitchen, and pots and pans jiggling and stuff like that, and a snap of his fingers or something similar to that, and a wolf of flame. You can hear that sound as though if something flammable caught. And yeah, so Irene, as she sits down, Irina is clearly very tired. Exhausted, in fact. Even though she rested the night before. Okay, so for those of you who are approaching the coffin maker's house while they are waiting for tea to form, you get to this. I'll show you the map actually for this one.
Ooh.
That is. Let me pull up the combat tracker so I drag the right people over. Val and Medic. Alright. So you guys are approaching the door. It's a, somewhat modest facility based on the looks there. The windows are completely closed with shades. There's no visibility on the inside, but you do see a banner on the top and a crude drawing of what you think is proprietary that I'm going to give you a much prettier.
Oh, Aka, thanks for the donation, buddy.
Grayscale and pencil drawings. Apparently, only the wealthy can really afford to do that. But shows his face along with a notice about business is booming for those that are doomed, and some similar articles in some sort of local paper or tabloid of sorts. And it shows this man, Hendrik Vandervoort. So
would
guys
I
are gonna
be
knock
able?
on the door? Go ahead.
Well, would I be able to, like, the magic that these bones were supposed to be like protecting the cathedral with? presumably it was like a wide range of protection. Is this something that I could feasibly detect? I mean, I realize I would have to roll for it, but I feel like my character would
Yeah.
know. Is it something we could detect from here if it was inside the building?
See. Go ahead and give a roll. Go and do an Arcana check. If it's really good, we'll talk. While you're doing that, wow. Now you look and everything looks like a fog to you. You can't even hardly tell that the medic is magical, even though you know he is.
Yay!
It's really messing with you guys. All right. So while they're considering what they're gonna do here, wow. You're checking to see if he's got something wrong.
Or scanning the
All right,
building for extra bones.
Vasily brings out a teapot and a bottle of what looks to be some sort of wine, and he also has a tray on it with several pastry-style foods.
Uh-oh.
I'm
Oh,
sorry, I
boy.
do not have many choices here. I did not expect to have visitors in my home right now, as you should be very well aware.
If you don't mind, where were you planning on taking Irina?
We were going to go for a walk. Isn't that right, Irina? Yeah, that's what you said.
Mm-hmm.
Please, eat, drink, enjoy. So, maybe business shall be formed. Friendships. Who knows?
I'll take a cup and take a plate. I'm not going to eat or drink any of it, but I will just kind of hold them, making it look like at some point I have the intention to.
I will take a
Okay.
cup and a plate and begin chowing down.
Yeah, you would.
I knew you would. I just knew you
Yep.
would. It's hilarious. Alright, so Gimbal Force, you recognize the pastry. It's amazing. You love it. And on top of that, the drink that's there, I want you to roll I guess perception probably makes the most sense. Roll a perception check. Oh, you've got such a refined palate. Just a second here.
At least 8 years old.
Bottled in bond.
What do you think of the food? You clearly were hungry, but I don't see you've touched yours, Diedrich.
No, I have no real appetite for pastries.
Tell him you're gluten intolerant.
Oh, what is this gluten? That sounds ridiculous.
Well, you see,
Start cracking me up.
the gluten I hear comes from, it comes from children. And I make it a habit to not eat children.
I disagree.
Oh, that
Gluten
is-
actually comes from corn and is, I don't think it's even discovered yet. So.
You are not a scientist. You don't know.
I don't think it's even discovered yet. That might be the
Well, if
best.
it's not discovered, surely he can't be gluten intolerant.
All right, so are you guys knocking at the other group? Are you knocking on the door?
Yes.
Yes.
Wait. Well, I guess. Okay. Do we have a good reason to be here? Medic wants to kill you, but not for a bad way, but so we can ask for.
No, but he telepathically told you his plan.
Well, right, but he also
Oh yeah, that's right.
to be sneaky. He wants to he's like this is his idea of being sneaky.
That's amazing.
Oh no, we weren't sneaking. We weren't trying to sneak up to the coffin maker. We need to talk to the coffin maker. We were trying to sneak away from the other dude.
Right, but we don't want to arouse suspicion. That if we want to act like shoppers, do we not? Well, I suppose we can pretend one of our close friends is dead.
Right. I mean, most people don't drag the dead body there at the same time and say, for this one, right here.
Oh, well, see, that's what I thought. You brought it there to get it measured.
Oh no, so my thought was I realize. I mean, it's like I'm a one-trick pony, but it's. I mean, intimidate the guy because we know that he has these bones. Tell him that he has to tell us. If he
Medic,
doesn't, if I fail miserably, then we just try to beat the crap out of him until he tells
Medic,
us.
here's your plan, and after seeing you try and intimidate several other times, he starts thinking about his plan. Because he's having you dead. Not because he doesn't like you, but because that's a plan. It might work. But we'll go with your plan for first.
Okay, then maybe, okay, I fail, and then we could pretend that I have a heart attack. How about that?
We can try.
That's
I also would like to try to intimidate this man. Medic would like to try his hand at smashing and intimidation, so we'll let you go. We've
Okay.
got
Alright,
this.
so-
We're like, I'm psyching
So-
you up.
Okay, we've
All
got
right.
it. We've got it.
The door opens, and a man that looks startlingly just like the picture I already showed you is at the door, and he's brushing his hands with it looks like sawdust or something was on him. And as you look past him, you see a workshop containing everything a carpenter needs to make coffins and furniture. There's the 3 sturdy work tables stretching the length of the west wall, and you can see an awful lot of tools. This is probably where he stores a lot of them. Prior or right after use. What do you want? Hello, I mean, and what do you want? He's acting very nervous, very strange. Who
Okay,
died?
so I'm gonna
Someone dead?
try something different this time. I'm gonna roll first, and then I'm gonna say something back.
Okay. What are you saying now?
You're saying your internet connection is terrible.
I think his rolling is what ruined it for him.
It could be.
Seeing as your intimidation was so poor,
Goodness sakes.
he
Medic goes to smash a table with his fist, or goes to smash one of his coffins, but instead compliments him on his craftsmanship because he doesn't really understand. Because he's been watching Val do intimidation, so he thinks this is the way.
Yeah, he raises his arm way up and then swings it down and points. That's a really nice coffin.
That's fine craftsmanship.
Okay, what'd you say, Val? Because we couldn't hear you, or Val.
Sorry. So yeah, I since I rolled middle of the road, I'm just gonna tell him we know that he's involved in the disappearance of the sacred bones from the cathedral, and we're here to find out what happened to them. We're not gonna leave until he.
Son of a biscuit. I rolled a 1.
Haha.
He immediately breaks out into a sweat. Come inside. It's all a big misunderstanding. You will see. It is perfectly fine. Come in. And he gives you room to come on by. He says, let me show you my place. It is very safe. It is very safe indeed.
So we do
definitely
not come in. We do not enter. We pull him out, or I motion for medic to pull him out. Tell him telepathically if I need
Oh.
to.
That actually doesn't
Alright.
have telepathy. Oh, you mean by?
Yeah. Yeah. So he's an older guy, so I think this is probably fair. As you start dragging him out, he's like, "No, stop, Milavash. He had me over the barrel. I had no choice. He seems like just a young boy, but he knows things. He has secrets. Please, I didn't want to take anything."
Little Mosh, the one we beat up in the cathedral.
No, it was Yeska.
Oh, that's Jessica. Who is this Milovash?
He's a cathedral worker.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Who got sent, if you may recall, along with Jessica to the orphanage right after.
Oh, right. All right,
And,
I'm pulling
yeah,
up
so-
the air for you. What do you need me to do?
So what? I'm sorry, you cut out there. Were you asking me
I'm
something?
holding him up in the air for you. What do you want me to do to him?
Well, we need to ask him if is there anything actually dangerous inside his shop here, because he seems super sketchy.
Oh man, I want to use this as intimidation. I want to scan him and then just tell him all the things medically wrong with him.
All right. Heart palpitations, high blood pressure. He's got a number of minor issues for a man his age, I suppose.
I let him know, but I tell him that if he cooperates, I can tell him how he can take better care of himself. He can live even longer with proper care and exercise and a good balanced diet.
All right. He says, I don't understand. What's this about? The guests and the treasure, it's hidden upstairs like I promised him I'd do, but I know nothing of this beyond that. I just did it because of, well, what he knows.
Well, who knows?
Tell us what he knows as you take us upstairs.
Wait, you don't know? Never mind. I meant he paid me off.
Tell us what he knows as you take us upstairs to get the treasure.
I'm holding him up with one arm, I want to smash one of his coffins. It's so well crafted, my hand just bounces off of it. And I turn to him and I say, Cursor is well crafted craftsmanship.
He says, just no more strong arm. It's not important. Whoa, what he may or may not know is not important. You just, oy vey.
Okay, so I cast Fiery Eyes and tell him it looks like there's a lot of wood in your shop here.
Oh, dang.
I don't think he probably knew what that was at first, so I guess you're going to have to start staring at something.
You don't think he could tell, like, when the eyes were flaming, that he could tell?
No, he could see that, but I don't think that he would necessarily know that that means things will catch fire, right?
Okay, well, then I will look at something, since we're still outside his shop. Just look at, like, a blade of grass or something and set it on fire. Something that's not going to, like, start a forest fire, you know?
He's like, you have grass lighting fire eyes? That's, very impressive, yes.
I will burn your shop down.
Don't do it, he's crazy.
Alright, so, he feels intimidated. Oh, did he? Well, he is backing back into the house because you dropped him when you did your little, swinging thing, and he takes another step back and give me a dex save, Val.
Oh boy. Oh, nice.
Alright, he went to slam the door, but you actually shoved your foot in there and stopped it from closing just in time. But you can hear him scurrying away behind the partially closed door. Now swinging back to the other group. All right, so the drink was flowing freely. Vasily is drinking some, and of course Gimbleforth is probably on his second or so glass, looking quite happy and thrilled with what he's consuming. When Vasily looks at you, Diedrich, and says, "What is your line of work?"
Well, you see, I'm part of a family that for generations has hunted monsters.
Yes, I figured as much. Your kind is... Well, they think they can make name for themselves here, and they often find they are very wrong. How good do you think you are? Do you really think you could protect Irina from the things that are here? Because when I look at you, to be honest, I do not feel that you are up to the task.
I have done okay.
Give me a perception check.
In the past. Okay.
Very good. You notice his hand moving ever so subtly toward what you have recognized to be a throwing dagger. In his inner jacket.
I'm gonna deholster my hand crossbow and point it right at him while it's glowing with its radiant energy. I would not do that if I were you.
You see him pause and says, "All right. I admit your perception is very good. Unusual. Unusual indeed. Alright, you might have a chance. You might. Get me the armor that was lost. My weapon shipment. And then you'll see really how powerful you are when you have the right equipment. You can pay me back when you've earned the money. Now as for lunch, I am tired. I am done.
Wait, what's he talking about?
He had offered. He said that there was a missing shipment of his that was out on the path, and he was looking for people who were willing to do it. He was originally talking to some hunters in the inn, if you may recall.
Oh yeah. But we didn't catch all of that because yeah. Tell me more about whatever, and what am I paying you back for?
Well, what I'm saying is this, that you clearly have some skills, but there's something that is much more powerful than skills, and it is enchanted armor, enchanted weapons. If you had these, you might be capable of handling the peculiarities of this land.
I agree.
So I suggest you find them for me. You may keep the armor, worth far more than the rest of shipment. You can pay me back if there's a difference between what is found and what your value you are keeping. Consider it a investment in something I have not seen in many years.
I understand. What can you tell me about this shipment that was lost?
Well, it was due in at least a week ago. It unfortunately had to go a very long distance. The shipment had not only my packages, but it had adventurers, idiots, one and all, who wanted to be dropped off at the temple. I told them, very bad idea. But you know how shipments are. These men want to make lots of the monies, the silver, the gold. They see that and they think they can do anything. But they clearly could not. They are now a week late, and I can give you general directions, but I don't know where precisely they were stopped.
Understood. I will take whatever directions you have, and I shall see it done.
He starts scribbling on a piece of parchment, which, by the way, is already a sign of pretty good wealth. It's a nice piece of vellum, and slides it over to you. So you have now an indication, roughly, of where this shipment would be.
Okay, I'll
He looks
take
over
it.
at Gimbleforth and says, "Please go ahead and take the bottle with you. There's only a little bit left anyway." And he pushes it towards you.
Well, thank you, my good sir.
Good. I will see you later. He smiles, and his mouth, the corner of his mouth, turns up in a most mischievous of ways as he looks at Gimbleforth. Yeah, you know what? Perception check again, David.
Oh boy. It's not that great. It's not bad, but it's not great.
It's yeah. To your eyes, it looks like he almost is attracted to Gimbleforth.
All right.
I mean,
All right, so back to the coffee makers. Henry, yeah, whatever his name is. He rushed on in. Yeah, Henrik rather rushed on in as you guys had stopped him from slamming the door into a locked position, and he is pushing past the farther door over here.
we would follow him.
Yes, I agree.
I can't move my guy though.
Oh, really? Did I put you on the wrong level? I did. Sorry.
I was trying to go in earlier, and I just assumed that was part of.
Okay. Now you should be able to move in.
The
I'm
door
gonna go
shut
ahead.
already.
Yeah, it's swinging shut, but it's not locked.
I kicked through it, just to like extra scare.
All right, strength check.
It's got to be a good one of these times.
Yeah, you swing it open with force. It wasn't locked.
So I see the old man.
You see, no, you do not see the old man here, but you did notice another door shutting, specifically. Oops, that's you. I wasn't trying to.
How did he get that far ahead of us?
Oh, it's only a few feet. It's his shack. I mean,
Saying this way.
That's true.
yes, that one.
This door
The
open.
room that you're currently in is basically, as you can tell, it's just a bunch of coffins haphazardly along the floor. In fact, the fact that they are so disorganized, you find to be strange. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and open up. There's actually two things here, just so it's clear and you can see both. That door that you actually kicked open is a junk room. There's a table with 4 chairs in one corner of the room with a lantern hanging from the chain directly above 2 well-made cabinets. Right. He went to the next one, which is in fact a staircase. And you guys are faster than him, so he's not actually staying ahead of you. You're quickly moving past, except that he gets to the top of the stairs here.
I throw my
yeah, you
mannequin
see him.
at him.
Can I cast a spell?
Dex check?
Yeah, dex check, please. Yeah, you hit him in the back of his shoulder, and
then I cast
hits him to
spiritual
the
weapon
wall.
on it.
Wow. Okay. Yeah,
As it
sure.
soars through the air, it hits him, cast spiritual weapon, and then a mannequin smacks him with his umbrella.
All right, you have successfully injured an old man. Well, getting there, older man who's normally pretty strong, and he reels from the punch of the mannequin. He freaks out. What in the what in the blazes, and some other expletives and whatnot, and he says, please, leave me alone, as he leans against the wall and then leans to his right, pushing against this door. Oops, can you see that? I don't know if you can see that or not. Can you see that marker?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, you could? Okay. Leans
up
against
here,
that
right?
door. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so he pushes
he's not
through.
going through. He's stop. Oh, he's pushing through. Or tell him to stop.
He's trying to
or
push through
he'll
really quickly.
attack
Yeah,
again.
he's begging for you
Are
to
you
leave him
gonna try to
alone
cast a
as he
spell?
pushes through. Yeah, go ahead and try.
Yeah,
Val,
I'll
if you're going to.
Galarian's levitation. It has a Constitution DC 13 save.
Okay. Go ahead and. Oh, well, I guess that's it right there. So he's got to do his Constitution check. He does not have an advantage on that. So. Alright, so you do so, and he is lifted in the air, and he kicks against the door as he does so, and he squeals out in fear. He's now completely suspended.
Mannequin smacks him upside the head. You blockhead.
Well, your mannequin's pretty short. I don't think your mannequin could probably hit
But
him.
it's a spiritual weapon.
He's a spiritual.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, it's sort of. Yeah, he's a. Okay. Floats up and smacks him.
All right, I say.
So
we
I think
take
as
him
quickly.
in his... Yeah.
I was just gonna possibly can. I was actually thinking we need to like get him down these stairs and out the door, out the front door, because there's clearly somebody else.
Okay. So I'll go up and haul him down by his floating legs. Can I restrain him?
All right. As you're beginning to drag him down, each of you give me a perception check.
Bam!
Nice.
Oh, wow. You guys realize that you're hearing sounds like claw marks rushing across wood. And you hear from beneath there, right near you, in fact, you being Val, you hear the coffins themselves start to slide open. And one... Before suddenly, boom, the door breaks open as... Where's this one at? I gotta mark it. That's the right one. Nope, that's not the right one. Well,
Oh, boy.
now you see too much.
What level are we on?
Alright, screw it.
Oh, that's a... Wait. We're
Oh
on...
gosh.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, okay.
So you're hearing, above and beneath, you're hearing
What time of day is it?
Movement. It's daytime.
It's like
It's,
noon.
it's yeah.
Yep. Which is why they were resting. But enough scuffling, enough noise, and yeah, roll initiative. Because that'll determine. You can feel free to escape if you want to. Holy crap!
I would also like my mannequin on the screen. This is already something.
That's a good point. Yeah, I'll get you that.
I think I have like. Oh yeah, I have advantage on initiative because of the.
So you'll roll a
staff
5.
thing that I have. Yeah.
That's not bad.
Yep. You guys are ahead of everything. So it's up to you, Medic, what you do now. You can keep dragging that guy with you, or you can make for the door, or you can whatever. Your
What
choice.
do you think, Val?
So it looks like this room has windows in it. Is there not light coming? You said the windows are blocked, right?
The blind.
Yep, they were all covered up. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, I mean, I think we should keep heading outside. Yeah.
So I will. The old man's floating still. I'm pulling him through the door. How far can I run holding a floating old?
Well, he's not really resisting you, so I'm gonna maintain that as long as you don't do anything else, you can actually keep your normal speed. Your 30 foot or whatever.
I take it outside, but I send the. Whoops. Now I can't do anything because he's laying on top.
Oh, that's hilarious. All right.
There we go. I send the dummy after that to do a slowing action, a delaying.
Okay. All right. So I think you can probably make that distance too. Let me see. You would 10 foot. Yeah, you'd be able to do it. Okay. You're successfully in the light, and it is now Vampire Spawn 5, which is which one? I need. Oh, here he is. Yeah. So he would be able to get to scrabbling over things. But you know what? He is going to have a problem because that spiritual weapon's in his way. That's going to buy you some time. Hitting the weapon will do him no good, so I'm just going to skip that part. And Vampire Spawn 2. He's not going to well, it depends on what you do, but he's not going to be able to get to you. He's roughly here. And Vampire, or it's Val's turn now.
So I don't think. Let me look at something real quick. So I don't have any movement after I cast a spell, right? Or can I save my movement?
Yeah, you can
No,
you can move.
have movement.
Yeah. As long as it's not a concentration, because you're already concentrating. Well, that has no effect on movement. Hello?
I'm waiting for him to do something.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I got you. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
There you are.
Okay. Yeah. Can I move after I cast a spell, or do I
Yes.
Yes,
forfeit?
yes,
any-
you can.
Okay. Okay. And so these are windows along like my right.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yep. Mm-hmm. They're covered,
so
but the
I don't
windows
know I don't know if my spells are would do
Was your
anything to those.
were your fiery eyes still up? You could burn the blinds if your fiery eyes were still on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, but
Yes,
then he
look
would
at
have
him
it
for a
like the
little
whole
while.
place burned down
Oh,
if I
that's
did
true.
that.
Well, I mean, as long as my mannequin makes.
But if we burn up the bones, that would just be like,
Or bones. It takes a lot of heat to
Stupid.
burn up a bone.
Well, I mean, if this whole building was on fire, it'd be a good bit of heat, right?
It's true.
I think
I
I'm
wouldn't
gonna
Google
cast.
that. Someone gets killed in your area, they're gonna be like, "Who googled how to get rid of bones?"
I've Googled my word.
I think
boy.
I'm gonna try to cast Ray of Frost on one of these, on whatever it is that's covering one of these windows, and see if I can just like do, I guess, enough damage or something, or hit it with enough force, I guess, to somehow open the window.
Ray of Frost, huh?
Yeah, Ray of Frost does a frigid beam of blue-white light, range spell attack on hit. Well, it says a creature within range, so maybe I can't actually. You know, if you want to be legalistic.
Well,
it
it's
is
light.
Like a creature.
I think you could beam
Yeah.
that light right at it. Just wouldn't do it much.
Yeah. Well, I actually do have a. Oh, I thought I had. Yeah, I do have an oil flask. No, that would be like if I wanted to start a fire. So. I don't think I have. I have a crossbow. I can
What?
shoot my crossbow at one of the windows and see
Oh.
if that I can. It's not gonna do anything. I think I'm just gonna run out the door. I'm gonna go outside.
All right. So he's gonna take an attack at you with his claws as you go to leave, and he misses.
Womp
What?
womp.
The dummy blocks with his umbrella.
Now we're gonna start expecting that and be really disappointed when it doesn't work again.
All right. So you guys clearly were able to escape without anything happening, and you hear just a bunch of scrambling around as the vampires are clawing but trying to avoid actually stepping outside.
Well, so are we still going round? Like, are we still going through the rounds? Or are we back in like normal space time now?
It depends on. It's gonna be normal space time unless you guys want to do something.
They're not following us
Okay,
out,
well, so
right?
so my thought was like
Right.
we just need to go around this building and like knock out the windows and like tear down whatever's like the curtains or whatever, like as quickly as we can. Just go
Ooh.
around and open up all these windows.
Clever.
I will
Okay.
do that. I think you should interrogate this guy and ask him why there are vampires in there, and I will go start ripping up windows. Because you're probably better at scaring people. Well, no, not really.
You're
Not
not.
good either.
In theory.
So yeah, you go ahead and engage in discourse while he begins smashing windows. Swinging back to the other group, however, he's clearly indicating that he's ready for you guys to leave, and is apparently not going to lay any particular claim on Irina. But you
Now
can
they've seen
read it from
Gimbleforth.
his face. Yes, perhaps. I'm not sure, but that might be it. So do you guys, you have a telepathy thing going on right now? Is that what it was like for the whole group?
Val?
Sorry, I was muted. No, it's an ability where people within like 60 feet, I can talk to them, and I can give them
Okay.
the ability to talk back to me with an action.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So there is no indicator for the other group that anything is going on. I will say this, however, Gimbleforth. You notice Gimbleforth gets startled, Edric. Like and disoriented. He's looks around, like trying to figure out what it is that spooked him.
This is probably fairly normal behavior, so Diedrich's going to continue the conversation with Vasily. So, one more question for you. Even though my comrade seems a little out of sorts, it's just him. Do you happen to have any, perhaps magical or silvered crossbows?
Ugh. No, of course not. I don't dirty my own hands.
But you sell them.
Yes.
Well, that's
to
what
dirty hands.
I don't
I
follow.
sell them to dirty hands, and I take the gold. I don't need silver weapons when I can pay for silver weapons to be held by dirty.
I am asking as a potential business proposition, because perhaps I would like to buy one from you.
All right, I see. Okay. Yes, all right, one moment. And he goes ahead and he walks out of the dining room of sorts, and it's very sparsely populated, but it did have a table. And you hear him walk upstairs, and a minute or so later, he comes back down and he proffers you a dagger with a very ornate metal handle and a jewel in the pommel, and he hands it to you, offers it to you hilt first with the sheath still on. Something like this, very powerful. It's supposedly, you can take it or leave it, but supposedly enchanted or maybe cursed or something by Vistani, particularly useful against vampires.
I do believe that I said I was looking for a crossbow.
Oh, I don't have a crossbow.
Okay,
Sorry.
fair enough.
My shipment, however, will have crossbows. I have this ceremonial dagger. You know what? As indication of friendship, you may have it. If you find no need for it later, well, that's fine. You can deposit it again.
Okay, that will work, and we shall be going now. Gimbleforth,
Right, excellent.
shall we go?
I guess.
Irina,
Sound like you're drunk, it's great.
what is it that you shall be doing now? Will you be coming with us? Will you be going back to the cathedral? Will you be staying here?
She decides to go ahead and go back to the cathedral. She's very tired, but she believes Vasily says it's safe, and that the bones don't really do much of anything, so she's just going to go ahead and rest there. And so she's willing to head back there
Okay.
with or without you.
Well, then I'll get up and start leaving.
Okay. You guys do that, and now for the other group, you guys have broken out a bunch of windows, right?
Yes, he's been
Yeah.
interrogating, I assume, to find out why there's vampires, and I've been knocking out the windows and yanking down the blinds.
Excellent.
And I had my dummy fly through one of the windows to rejoin me, so that's all that matters.
Okay. You guys don't hear any screams or squeals like you were hoping to hear when the windows are burst out, but nothing jumps out at you either.
Why are there vampires in there, old man? I'm saying this in Val.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got actually several questions for it. So yeah, are there vampires? We can start.
Well, you clearly realize that I'm not exactly happy with vampires in my own building. I have told you that I had no choice, and as to why the bones are there, it is probably because they don't want the bones somewhere else. I don't know what you want from me. I am held over barrel like fish. I don't know if that's as the saying, but it is something like that, I am sure.
So why, if the bones are in your building, does it seem to have no effect on the vampires?
Well, do I look like a magician or a cleric? I do not look like that. I look like Coffin Man. Man who made coffins.
Okay,
I
okay.
cannot answer all questions.
So the bones are upstairs.
Yes, can you put me down? I'm floating like idiot.
So if did Medic tie him up? Didn't he restrain him? Like tie him up?
I didn't have anything to tie
Well,
with.
you floated him.
Yeah, we floated him, so I just basically dragged him by his foot as we floated out, and I'm sure he didn't resist because he's like, oh crap.
Yeah.
They'll probably
Okay.
kill me
Well, let's.
too.
Yeah.
Your
Okay.
rope will
Well,
climb up.
let's make sure he can't like quickly run back in there and then like get between him and the door, and he can come back down to the ground, I guess. So, do you have a relationship with Vasily? Is he involved in this?
Is okay. Perception check, Val. Let's see what you do.
Okay. Let's see.
He answers you that he doesn't know what you're talking about.
Well, clearly you know Vasily. We stopped by here earlier with him. So it seems like you're trying to hide something, yet again. Do we need to have medic start breaking your fingers? He knows where all of the bones are.
Again, I am an old man who is in a pickle place, a place of many pickles, and you have put me in an awkward situation. I don't know all my customers. Do you know all the peoples you've ever met? I don't think so.
Yes.
So there are more pickles here now than there are across town. If you get my meaning.
I
You
don't
clearly know
understand your
Vasily.
phrases. They are very
Medic says
strange.
he doesn't
Have you
he's
heard
an
yourself?
old man. He doesn't get your meeting either.
Okay, break his
I thought they
fingers.
were
Medic.
vampires, not pickles.
Can
Are
you
you
make
gonna
coffins
break
with
his
broken
fingers?
fingers?
Quit threatening. I am old man. Clearly, no, you have many troubles with making coffins with fewer fingers. It's like, like making anything that uses fingers. Fewer fingers makes it much harder.
Man, I'm so bad at that. I gently massage one of his hands.
You guys are amazing. That poor guy's gone through all sorts of drama today, and you guys keep turning it
I'm
around.
so
into something
confused.
pleasant. He's just spinning in the air. By the way, Diedrich, you have a dagger in your inventory.
I'm looking at it right now.
Is it not showing you what the name of it is?
It sounds awesome. It does have a cool name. Black Razor?
Yeah.
Oh, you guys saw that?
He's watching my stream.
Oh, I was wondering how you saw that.
But actually, it does not show up in my inventory.
I see that. Well, that's okay. I'll figure that out later.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, you realize it's got a lot of power, but you can't figure out how this handle is possibly comfortable. Okay, so just so we're clear, they're still doing a terrible job of interrogating this floating old guy. Diedrich, have you left the building
I should say,
then?
how far
Yes.
away are they?
Okay,
He's
so are
real
you heading
intimidating.
toward the coffin?
Yes.
The coffin.
Presumably
Okay, so you're heading that way.
with Gimbleforth and Irina.
Irina. So Irina is tucking next to you. She is tired and is a little bit slow on her feet. So she's leaning into you. You can feel the warmth of her skin against yours as she just relies on your strength, and her hand
Not a super strong person.
grips. What now?
Nothing. Just I'm not super strong. I'm very dexterous, but not super
Sounds
strong.
like he needs a manly rope.
A robot.
Robot with a vibrate mode. Alarm system, I mean. Yeah, so she feels and she goes, your arm's so wiry. That's that's
Wiry.
attack manly. It's a very wiry.
There you go.
You're a scrapper, she says to you. So she's leaning in. She's a pretty. She used to at least appear very strong. Give me a perception check with disadvantage, Diedrich.
Okay. Ah.
Yeah. You have not noticed that though you left the house some time ago, Gimbleforth is no longer with you.
I have not noticed
And
that.
you have not noticed it. You got distracted by the lady bits. I mean, wouldn't we all?
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah, you have not, you know that he was with you as you exited the house, but somewhere along the way, he's just suddenly no longer there. All right, so those of you who are interrogating the old guy, he's fighting you tooth and nail as far as to emotionally and in arguments, and now he starts just yelling loudly, trying to get the attention of people nearby. Help! There are these people here who do bad things to older men like myself. Please, someone please help us, or help me.
There are vampires in this
Important
guy's
things.
house.
So I'm exactly. So I have that that background
Yep,
where
yep.
people know that I have a haunted past, and they're inclined. The commoners are inclined to help me,
Yep.
and I'm going to take advantage of that to also yell out that his house is full of vampires, and he seems to be in league with the devil.
And he yells out how, yes, there are many vampires, and it is clearly from the people that are different. You guys have known me. I have done many a coffin making for all of you. And he looks at a woman and says, Susie, your husband, he buried in ground from coffin I make with my own hands. They threatened to take away my hands. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah, think
I'm
about
gonna
that.
intimidate him again and tell him that if he doesn't shut up, I'm going to throw him in the house and we're gonna burn it down while he's in there.
All right,
I'm-
let's see your intimidation roll, buddy. This is your last chance to intimidate this guy.
What is your alignment? Oh my gosh.
It's still a 10.
Yeah,
I'm not-
it's still 10. The guy has been living under extraordinary stress right now, and it's always, you got to think of it in a scale of what is he experiencing versus what, you're offering. He's been living in great fear with vampires in his own house, or his own,
Pretty robust.
shop
I
house.
just gag him.
Okay.
I gag him and I put him out of sight of the people. Like take him to the side
So
of
is
the
he
house.
not floating anymore? Okay. All right. So you drag him around. That's fine. All right,
He is
perception
tied,
check
though.
from you then. The medic. Oh, yeah, it's 14. Yeah, okay, so you notice some movement in a window and across the street from his house.
I point to. I notify Val. Are they within range of us yet? How far away were they? Are they? Can we see them walking down?
Yeah, you know what? You probably noticed Diedrich by now.
I
With Irene on
shout
his
to
arm.
him that there's people across the street, and then this house is full of vampires, and I have this trussed up old man tied up and gagged, and a dummy smacking him on the head with a little.
All right.
By the way, where's Gimbleforth?
As you look and you point, you're looking at Diedrich, and you're pointing at the window. As you do, you're, and an arrow strikes the old man right in his throat, cleanly severing his trachea and passing through his spinal column. And you realize immediately that he is dead.
So my quarterstaff of warning says that I and any of my companions within 30 feet of me can't be surprised.
Do you think he's a companion? Do you think he's a
Well,
companion?
I mean, he's
It's
not
not
a
an attack
willing
on you.
companion.
It's not an attack
Not a
on
willing
you.
companion.
And he said, you did not get attacked, and he did see the action, but it didn't attack you, so you are fine. And the old guy gurgles a little bit, but it's just mostly his body convulsing with regular movement. And one of you had yelled out, "Where's Gimbleforth?" At this moment, Diedrich, you realize Gimbleforth isn't with you. Chance of what you do.
And sorry, what was the last sentence?
Well, you have a lot of things going on. It's up to you on what you do, which direction you take this, because we have a crowd that's gathered, a man that just suddenly got killed. You guys are now in the midst of this, having held the guy up in the air.
He's not floating.
I'd like to first look around.
Either way.
First, we need to deal with this. What can I tell where I should be able to tell where the arrow came from. At least a pretty decent direction.
Yes. No, he could tell you exactly. Yeah. You definitely know where it's at. It's from a second floor window across the street from where you were.
All right, I'm running over there to see who shot this.
The crowd is making it a little more difficult, but they are mostly in alignment with Val because of his background.
I actually have the same background.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Yes.
Well, never mind. You guys are both very haunted. You guys are so edgy. You run your edgy self toward this other building, and you find the door is locked.
Try.
I'm gonna use my fiery eyes to set fire to the building. Well, he tries to open the door.
So now I'm getting a vibe of evil Superman. Like just go.
Seriously.
It's not evil. They just assassinated this dude.
Well, I meant the picture of an evil Superman burning down people's homes.
I'm gonna yell back to Val and Medic. You watch the front. I'm gonna run around to the back and make sure he doesn't escape out the back. And so I do that.
All right. So you rush around, and since you were so alert to the process, I mean, you're actively pursuing the person. You notice that a red cloak billows just over the top of the roof of the building across from it, and whoever it was had jumped a pretty sizable gap, a 15-foot or so distance between the two buildings, and had gone upwards even to maintain that angle, and he's now on the roof of a 2-story building, and you're going to have a hard time following him unless you...
Do I have any visibility?
Well, you saw the cloak, so you know the direction he's running, and you'd be able to...
But I can't still see it?
Can't see him.
Okay.
No.
Well, I'll just try and run the best I can in that direction and try and gauge where I best think he would be going.
Okay. You do that, and as to the robot, you now have a dead guy next to you, a crowd that is very confused because you are not normal looking anyway. You do not have this background. Vel is the only one keeping things maintained calm with his haunting, edgy background, keeping people somewhat from going crazy. But it doesn't look good, and you hear sirens.
Did he die instantly? There was no medical things that could do to help him?
Yeah, you had looked away, and there's not a whole lot you can do when a bullet goes through the throat and the spine of this old guy. You don't have a resurrect spell, so...
Magic.
Right.
Spare the dying! I have a spell called Spare the Dying.
Yes.
I can stabilize him.
Right, but he's dead, so you spare the dead? You look away, you're...
He has 0 hit points. Oh, I guess you're right. It says touch a living creature that has 0 hit points.
Yeah, but he was gurgling there for a second.
And I said it was just his body spasming. I said that too. I specifically said that. You have Wiener Schnitzels. He's dead. Unless you want to use your wish spell from the other game.
I don't think it's that important.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so you begin a journey, a running after. Irina is a little bit confused and walking around somewhat disoriented. The only person who probably has even seen this is Val, because I doubt the medic's paying attention. And Val, you have your hands full trying to currently manage the group, the crowd that's there, and you're hearing sirens begin even now. Go ahead and give me a perception check to see whether you're able to follow through with that, Diedrich.
Okay.
Trying to track the person.
Actually, on that note, I would be able to. Where is it? Where is it? I need to find it. Okay, so I have. Would this be tracking at all? Would this
Yeah.
involve tracking?
I think that's fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would I should be able to know if this would be a Fey, Fiend, or Undead. Is it any of those?
Yeah, you do not get the. Well, you know for sure it's not a Fey or a Fiend.
Mm-hmm.
You you have the scent of death you recognize, but it doesn't smell like a vampire or a zombie. So
But
it's probably not technically an undead, but it's something that's been in contact with death.
okay, the reason I ask is because if it is an undead, I get advantage on survival checks.
Right. Well, you don't feel like you have an advantage on survival checks.
Okay, fair enough.
Oh man, that'd be funny, guys. It can't be undead. I don't feel like I have an advantage on a survival check. All right, so you're continue tracking. Give me. Did you give me that perception?
I gave you
No,
survival.
Yeah, that's fine. You see that they're gaining on you, like they're gaining distance on you as they can take a most straight path for them, going across the rooftops, and you're having to run around each house. After a few houses of this, you realize you have very little chance to head them off, except for this one opportunity. If you cut through this the building that's right in front of you, smash through the glass and get to the other side, you might at least be able to see who it is, even if you wouldn't be able to catch them because there's too large of a gap for them to jump. So give me a dexterity check as you attempt to take advantage of this opportunity and go through the glass. All right, you succeed because you're already pretty skilled and the window wasn't small. Crashing through, you roll right to your feet and you rush toward the front door to knock it open to look. Give me a strength check.
Okay. Eesh. Hey.
Oh man, nicely done. You hit that with your shoulder and smash it open, breaking the inner frame completely. And you see, I'm going to see if I can find a picture of what you see, actually. May not be easy to do, though. Oh, Curse of Strahd is where I go from. Sorry, guys. 1 second. Actually, I didn't expect you to succeed this many times, so I'm trying to find it. Okay, yeah, you see a red hat, like, you know that lady from or that show
Carmen Sandiego.
wearing, yes, thank you. You see something like that and a long cloak with red trim, and something's off about the right leg, the way the individual's moving, as though they've got a loping gait and a long rapier, and
If
then
I-
they disappear from around the
I was gonna say if I could see it in that split second that I go through the door, I want to take a shot.
Okay. Go ahead. It's a long range shot.
Which I don't. Yeah, I don't.
I
I've got that sharpshooter.
I know. I get that. Go ahead and just drop your attack in the. Oh my gosh! All right, you do an extraordinary shot. Your arrow flies. Go ahead and roll damage dice into there.
And I've got the blood right. Oh wait, no, I already had that. Dang it! All right. Do.
Oh man! So it hits like kidney area. You see the bolt hit the back of the cape and just slide right through, and you hear a female voice, a woman, yelp out, cry out in pain, right as she goes beyond your vision, and you hear a whinny, a very loud horse's whinny, and footsteps or horse, as a horse begins running. But there is now a blood trail if you were to be interested in following. But you know it's a female wearing a red hat, cloak, and you now realize that you have absolutely no idea whatsoever where Gimbleforth is, and you are now several blocks from.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop pursuit. There's no way I can catch her on a horse.
Yep.
Not with that attitude.
Sounds like David right there. Yeah. Okay. So since this is gonna be Gimby's last game, I did write a quest piece, actually a companion piece that fits with another character that's in this game, and as such, this won't be the last you see of Gimbleforth, even if he doesn't play, simply because I've now substituted his character in for another one that you had yet to meet anyway. And that storyline fits well enough that if I end up playing, I will take over him or have someone else take over him for purposes of role-playing at that point. But you will not, you guys find out, of course, in short order, and this is where we'll leave for today, you find out that you have no idea where he is. And when you go back to Vasily's, you find the door locked and no one's there, which, isn't too surprising for you guys since he already made clear he travels around quite a bit.
Dang it, I wanted to know what was in his pocket.
In case you guys we could burn this dude's house down, by the way, and the bones would survive. Because I assume the building's made out of wood, right? The average temperature of a house fire from a wooden house is about 1,100 degrees Fahrenheit. It's about 1,500 degrees Fahrenheit to completely destroy a bone. 1,500 to 1,800. So, just saying, we could burn the house down.
So I was thinking, before we go that drastic, just to keep in mind for the next game, I think what the first thing I would want to do, if I forget for the next game, is convince the crowd, because that's kind of what this haunted background is for, is convincing them to, get pitchforks, basically. So convince the crowd to help us go in here, fight these vampires, and retrieve these bones. Like, just actually be totally honest with them and tell them that the magical bones protecting the cathedral of Saint whatever his name is are in there. We need to go kill these vampires and get them back so that the cathedral can be safe. So
wow, so I need to get together. I need to build before next game a mob of.
Yes.
I will do so. All right, that's where we'll leave it. A mob is forming under your guidance, Val. And I guess you guys at this point don't even realize how completely lost you are regarding Gimbleforth. Okay.
Right.
What?
No.
Okay. Yeah, okay, so that should be fine. Thanks for playing, everyone, and have a nice night.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Okay, thank you.
See you guys.
Have a good one.
See you guys.
Bye.